We've announced a strike on our video game contract.
Last week, video game voice actors from across the world went on strike, seeking protections from AI and fair compensation for their work. This strike comes off the heels of entertainment union SAG-AFTRA's success in securing similar protections for animation voice actors earlier this year and film actors and writers late last year. SAG-AFTRA is a union representing over 160,000 workers, which tirelessly works to safeguard the rights of its members and negotiate fair contracts with major publishers and companies. Since 2022, video game voice actors under SAG-AFTRA have been operating on month-to-month contracts without any long-term agreements in place between themselves and video game publishers. But on July 25th, these voice actors took a stand. They went on strike for only the second time in their history, aiming to secure a new long-term deal with video game publishers. In this video, we'll dive into what exactly these voice actors are fighting for, the rights and compensations they currently have, and how this strike might impact games currently in development. First off, since this is only the second strike ever that video game performers have initiated, let's take a look at how the first strike went. The first video game voice actor strike lasted from October 2016 to September 2017, spanning over 300 days, and concluded with a deal that left many voice actors disappointed. They were frustrated with the representation SAG-AFTRA provided. They felt as though the union was not willing to fight for them as hard as they could have, and many felt like they weren't being seen as the priority in these negotiations. And while the ending of this strike did result in improved compensation for voice actors, such as guaranteeing a bonus that increased exponentially based on the number of recording sessions an actor did, many issues remain unaddressed. These include demands for residual payments and more protections against vocally stressful work, which were key points that the voice actors had hoped to see resolved. These unresolved issues lay the foundation for what the current strike seeks to accomplish. But there's much more. There's a reason this strike is happening right now and not in previous years, and that is AI. With artificial intelligence now able to reproduce human speech and art, many in the entertainment industry are worried about their job security. You've likely heard of the recent SAG-AFTRA strikes, particularly the one last year for film writers and actors, and the one in May for animation voice actors. Both succeeded in securing rights that protected their members' work from being reproduced using AI. Seeing this success, video game voice actors and performers seek to acquire similar protections through their own strike. But their battle will be much different and uniquely challenging. The video game industry is a whole different beast than the film industry. For one, these performers typically don't get residuals, their pay is usually lower, and big video game publishers are not known for their fair treatment of employees. Another difference to consider is that while film and television companies like Disney, Warner Bros., or Paramount are thoroughly recognized as being in the entertainment business and treat their performers as such, many large video game publishers see themselves as technology companies, which, as the lead negotiator for this new strike says, adds to their unwillingness to perceive the performance value in video game voice actors. Currently, there's nothing stopping publishers like EA, Ubisoft, or Activision from replacing all of their NPCs with AI voices, and these smaller roles would be the first to go if voice actors don't succeed in this strike. This situation isn't a faraway nightmare either, it's already happening. Activision has already sold AI-generated skins in the MW3 marketplace, and has been forcing artists to use AI in their work. Shortly after selling this AI skin, Microsoft Blizzard laid off 1,900 employees. This is the exact thing video game performers are scared of. Company tries AI replicates human work, company lays off workers. This is why many feel this strike is necessary and is important enough to stop work entirely. With two successful strikes granting entertainment industry workers protections from this exact thing, video game performers feel emboldened to fight for these rights as well. Now that we've set the stakes for this strike, let's move on to the impact this strike will have on games that are currently in development. With multiple major games set to release next year, most notably GTA 6, will this strike cause any delays? Well, thankfully for gamers, I'm pretty confident that this strike is not going to significantly affect the production time of any games produced under the studios being struck against. I say this given the impact the 2016 video game voice actor strike had on games being developed at that time. For example, during the first strike that video game voice actors held, the prequel to the hit game Life is Strange was being produced, Life is Strange Before the Storm. During this time, one of the lead voice actresses, Ashley Birch, who voices one of the main characters, Chloe, went on strike. Was the game halted until the strike was over? Nope, she was simply replaced by another voice actress, Rihanna DeVries. No delays were made and the game released on time and experienced the same success as its predecessors. There are multiple stories like this from 2016, and the effect of this strike on big gaming franchises was seen as minimal. Hey, I could be wrong. This strike could end up being much larger and more impactful than the first one. We could see many games citing the strike as the reason for delays. However, based on past events, I don't think this is a likely possibility. With that being said, let's look at how video game companies have responded to this strike, and how likely it is that video game voice actors will succeed in securing a favorable deal. The spokesman for the video game publishers being struck against has stated that before the strike, negotiations were going very well, and that publishers and performers were close to reaching a deal. Video game publishers offered the meaningful AI protections to video game performers that they wanted. The heads of these video game studios also claim that they had already agreed to 24 out of the 25 demands put forward by the union. This is what video game performers were after, right? Well, not really. The issue is that when video game publishers define what performers will and will not get protections from AI, they are leaving out many jobs that could be replaced through AI. Take a look at this quote from SAG-AFTRA's Chief Contracts Officer, Ray Rodriguez. The industry has told us point blank that they do not necessarily consider everyone who is rendering movement performance to be a performer that is covered by the collective bargaining arrangement. This shows that while video game publishers are willing to give voice actors the right to not have their voices replaced with AI voices, they are not willing to extend the same rights to motion capture artists and renderers. This is a major reason why negotiations failed and the video game performers went forward with the strike. Despite the obstacles, SAG-AFTRA seems pretty confident that they will succeed in gaining these protections and more from this strike. Specifically, besides the AI protections, the union is also looking to secure an 11% retroactive wage increase for video game performers to help counteract inflation. This is identical to what SAG-AFTRA requested during its film and television strikes last year. It's hard to speculate how long this strike will last. I think that securing the AI protections will be the easier part since video game publishers have already agreed to most of those types of demands, and it really comes down to semantics and specifics on that front. However, I doubt it will be easy getting the same large studios that love shoving microtransactions into every game to agree with the pay raise that's being requested by these performers. I really hope that this strike is successful for the voice actors and performers. They put in so much work to these games that we enjoy and deserve the rights and pay that they are demanding. That being said, how do you think this strike will shake out? Do you agree with what these voice actors and performers want? And how would you react if a game is delayed due to this strike? Leave a comment. I always love hearing y'all's feedback. If you like this video, I made one in a very similar style last week on Xbox's changes to Game Pass prices. Also, I want to give a huge thank you to everyone who subscribed. Last week, we finally hit 100 subscribers, which has been a goal of mine since as long as I can remember. I really appreciate each and every one of you, and creating these videos is something I love to do, so I truly am thankful for all of y'all who watch. That being said, thanks for watching, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.